beautiful.
What is up, Billings fam? Welcome back, welcome back. It has been an awesome past couple of weeks. We've been doing a lot of cool things. I was a little bored today, so I was like, hey, let's figure out something new and cool to try. So I decided what I'm gonna do is show you how to make an aquarium literally from scratch. I mean, we're buying our own glass, we're putting it all together, we're gonna throw some really cool stuff in there, and it's either gonna be a snail or a shrimp tank, or maybe a little of both. Why not? So, got a lot of fun in store for this video. Make sure you stay tuned. Hey, if you haven't, you better go down right now, subscribe, hit that bell, join the Billings fam. Got big things coming. Billings fam, House Billings, doing big things. So they do have a couple of options here. They have regular glass and plexiglass. I think we are gonna go with the regular glass. We found some 11 by 14s, which should work perfect. Because it's not a square and it's gonna make a rectangle, we will have to cut 2 of them. We grabbed ourselves a glass cutting kit. Hopefully it's easy. I guess we'll find out together. Quiet on set. What is up, guys? Just got back from Home Depot. And I said to him, I'm very important. I've got many leather-bound books. My house smells of rich mahogany. Oh, sorry. So we just got back from Home Depot. We were able to pick up the glass. We got a little glass cutter because we are gonna have to make a couple of cuts on the glass. And we did get our aquarium silicone to put it all together. Now, we did end up going with the 8 by 10 glass instead of the 11 by 14. Figured it was best just to go a little bit smaller just to make sure it was easier to work with for our first time. Now, keep in mind, guys, if you are going to do this, which I highly recommend to try, you aren't going to really be able to do anything over 10 gallons. This glass from Home Depot is very thin, and anything over 10 gallons would probably have too much pressure and the glass would crack. Anything under that should be perfectly fine. This one is going to end up probably only being, I'd say 2, maybe 3 gallons. We're going to throw some snails in there, maybe some shrimp. It's going to look awesome. I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. We got a lot to do here. Let's get rolling. So there's sticky stuff on this we gotta get off somehow. That's gonna be a pain. Some weird accidental physics. So if you end up having sticky stuff on the glass, because Home Depot likes to make things more difficult for you, I randomly found out that painter's tape doing this will take it off fairly easily. And yeah, sometimes I surprise myself. Alright, so we got the glass all cleaned off, and we are prepping to make our cuts. Just a couple of quick points. Make sure when you do start everything, you want to start with your base piece, and everything is going to go on top of that. You don't want to put it on the sides, you want to put it on top. So when you go to make your measurements, you want to start with everything on top and lining it up this way. We are going to cut this the way we've done it and measured out so that the 2 long pieces will not have to have any cuts on it. The 2 short pieces on the side will each have to have 2. This way it avoids having to have little small cuts on every single piece of glass. You just basically double the width of the glass on the 2 longer ones, and it makes it a little bit easier to work with. So, gotta get to work, cut our pieces, get this in place. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys could hear that, but when you do go to cut this, make sure you push just hard enough so you can kind of hear it scoring. You don't want to push too hard. Too. Sorry. Anyways, you don't want to push too hard, but you want to push hard enough that you can hear it kind of scoring. And when you lift it up, you guys aren't going to be able to see this on camera, but when you lift it up and look in the light, you should be able to see a little scoring line straight down where you were. You should probably have gloves on for this part. So the side that you were working on, you're gonna flip upside down. Put one hand here, and with the other hand, as long as it goes... Well, it worked perfect. My blade must have slipped a little at the beginning, because we got a nice little curve in it. So that should be fun to try and correct. Guys, glass is cut. It was a little tricky. Make sure you have some sandpaper on hand. It was really only one cut that gave us a little bit of issue. But if you have this on hand, you can sand off any of the rough edges and we are good to go. So the next thing we are gonna do, we're gonna just line up all the pieces here. We got the tape to hold it in place and hopefully start the silicone. That was your mama. As you can see, this is probably a two-man job. The tape helps a little bit, but it is still something you probably want to have two hands for. So that's why a lot of this was done off camera, so Boss Lady could kind of help me get this together. Overall though, I'm super happy with how it came out for our first one. Our cuts really aren't that bad. There's only one that's a little bit off, but we'll be fine once we put the silicone in. So the next thing we gotta do, make sure we get our silicone in there, and we're gonna use like a little plastic spoon to smooth it out instead of using your fingers. We've heard it works a little bit easier that way.
It smells like dirty feet.
Hey guys, while we're doing this, do me a favor, comment down below if you have done one of these yet. I would love to know. Any tips of the trade would be greatly appreciated. This is something super fun. I would love to do these more often, even get into maybe different shaped ones. That would be pretty cool. But send me a comment down below. Let me know what you think so far and if you have done one before. Thanks, George. You tell him. So there you have it. It's all siliconed up. We gotta leave it for about 24 hours. It was a little messy, but we got through it. I am super, super excited. Like I said, it's not perfect. It was our first time, but I think it's gonna work perfectly fine. I'm pumped. I can't wait to do more of these. I'm definitely gonna try something bigger, but I'm pumped, ready to go. We're gonna let this sit for 24 hours. We will come back and we will then try and start filling with water and testing it out. And good news, everything is a-okay. No leaks anywhere. We left some paper on it just to make sure the bottom wasn't leaking. Checked all the sides. It's obviously not perfect. There's a couple of areas where it's off by a tiny bit. But honestly, for our first one, this is awesome. Super exciting. It really wasn't that difficult. And to me, it was a lot of fun. And it opens up a whole new bunch of avenues that you can go down to try and make different designs. We might design one inside of like a table or something. I don't know. What we are actually going to do with this is pretty cool. We're gonna use the leftover substrate we had from the planted tank, put it in this. We're gonna put some cool things in there. It's gonna be really, really beautiful, and we're gonna sit it in our living room right under the TV, which is hung up. Bam! And the substrate is in. Looks nice. And with it rinsed off, it's hopefully won't be as cloudy as it was in the planted tank for a while. So, wanted to show you the other things we got. We did pick up just a couple of live plants here that will help the shrimp. They enjoy that. We got a carpeting one, and there's just a couple that sit out in the back. We got our light for the plants, and then we did get a little centerpiece here, something just for the shrimp to kind of play around in and hide. One of the coolest things that I'm excited about though, what we are gonna do, we did have a filter laying around just from one of the other tanks that we don't use anymore. I'm actually going to make this into like a kind of a DIY filter, and I'm gonna fill it with our own media, so that'll be pretty cool. One other quick thing for the water, what we are gonna do, because we need to do a couple of water changes anyways, we are gonna take water from one of the established tanks and put it in here so that we don't have to wait. So we got the filter all set up, the little DIY filter. I'm not gonna go into it in depth, but I am just gonna briefly touch on what we did. So you can see we've used our own stuff here. Really, really cool. So we got the two different stages of filtration in there. We got the mechanical and the biological. So we did cut out a little filter sponge here, and we made it into the shape, so that is on the bottom there. The next thing we have is this bulk roll. This is awesome, guys. You should buy this, of media filtration here. And you just cut a little piece, and that will be your next layer. And this has a coarse and a fine side. You want to put the coarse side down and then the fine on top. And then the last thing we did is we have our carbon here, our activated carbon. Cut a little piece of net, put that in and wrapped it on the top there. So the water will come in, cycle through that. And this stuff is really good for holding on to all of the beneficial bacteria. So that's all for that. If you guys do want me to go into a better video more in depth of how to do these things, just leave me a comment down below. So just remember guys, if you are doing a planted tank, it is super important to have an LED light. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Maybe we'll leave it on the blue. So this one does some fancy color changes, which is pretty cool. Or you can just set it on something. Absolutely beautiful. So we got a couple of the larger plants in the back. We got a nice little plant right here in the front that is going to hopefully turn into a nice looking carpet. And that should grow right around to the bottom there. So that's the light right now we have hanging from the TV. That'll work just till tomorrow. And then we're gonna have one that clips on here. We got the nice little filter right here. That's perfect size, and it is the DIY filter that I showed you guys last night, and we got the nice little heater in the back there. So this tank is gonna do great. Make sure you stay tuned guys, because we are gonna fill this tomorrow with some shrimp, some really colorful shrimp. I'm excited for that. That's pretty much it. As you can see, it was super easy to do. I mean, it takes a little bit of time putting the pieces of glass together, but this is something that anybody can do, and it really wasn't that expensive to put it together. It was probably cheaper building this than it is going out and buying one of those like fluval ones, or some of the other ones that don't have the little plastic rim around it. So, and I think it looks a lot nicer not having that. So I'm pretty excited. Like I said, we are gonna definitely do more of these. We already have the next one planned. We're gonna do a taller one. I don't know if you can see, we got Tanked going on in the back. Absolutely love that show, great show. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. But hey, make sure guys, do me a favor, subscribe down below, go click that bell. Stay tuned, we got a lot of cool things coming. Thank you guys for the support. And until next time, peace.